In Singapore, the employment rate of women has risen from 62% in 2002 to 78% in 2019, but they're still being paid less than their male counterparts doing the same job. On International Women's Day today, we find out why. Miro Liu reports.
Women in Singapore earned 6% less than their male colleagues in 2018 for doing similar work in similar roles. The Adjusted Gender Pay Gap report released by Singapore's Ministry of Manpower took into account factors like education, age, and industry for their calculations. However, the unadjusted wage gap shows that the overall median monthly salary of a woman was 16.3% less than a man's, which is in fact higher than it was in 2002. Women's rights advocates believe that the unadjusted figure, which is widely recognized internationally, is a more accurate representation of the ground realities.
I think the larger number is probably more indicative of the reality on the ground, because the things that they adjust for almost normalize bias. And what the lower number doesn't do is it doesn't help us address that. It gives us a false sense of security. And we can only solve problems if we can identify them to begin with.
A crucial factor behind the pay gap is due to persistent gender norms and occupation segregation, whereby men tend to dominate higher paying jobs while women are overrepresented in the lower paying ones.
Why women might end up in lower paying roles has a lot to do with the fact that their role as the primary caregiver compels them to look for jobs that allow them the flexibility of balancing both. And these jobs usually would be part-time work or, kind of more flexible types of work that tends to pay lower as well.
Aware went on to add that shared caregiving responsibilities between both parents and additional paternity leave for fathers could help women better manage their dual roles. But undeniably, a more drastic change in mindset and workplace policies is vital to addressing the larger issue of pay disparity.
There's several things companies and countries can do. One is to encourage pay transparency. I think the more transparent wages are, the more likely we are to see an equalization for women. The second thing is blind hiring. You submit the same CV with a man's name and a woman's name, and the man gets selected, and it's exactly the same CV. So there is a lot of bias built into our system.
At the current rate, it will take women almost 100 years to earn as much as men, as per the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report 2020. Though voices are being raised and efforts are being made to bridge the gap, the time when equal pay is given for equal work, irrespective of gender, is still a far cry away. Miro Liu, CGTN, Singapore.
Thank you, Carsten. It's recorded. You turned off the Wi-Fi? Did you turn off Wi-Fi?